to San Mateo County Today. Conversations with government leaders throughout San Mateo County. Here's your host, Linda Morrissey.
Hi, welcome to San Mateo County Today. We are thrilled to have with us today Rich Garbarino. He's the mayor of South San Francisco. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good, great. I'd love to start by talking a little bit just about you before we talk about the city. You've spent more than 30 years in community and public service.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you could just give us sort of a path, sort of your journey, your background and journey to where you are right now.
Sure. My involvement with the city began when I became active in 1980 with our local homeowners, Neighborhood Homeowners Association. We had issues with the then city council about what we wanted to see in our neighborhood versus what they wanted to put in our neighborhood. And so I spent 16 years as president of that group. That led to my appointment to the Park and Recreation Commission. I served 18 years in that body, 4 times as chair. Then they appointed me to the Code Enforcement Hearing Officer, which was probably the worst 2 years I ever spent doing anything for the city.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you hear all the complaints and things. But then Gene Mullen was elected to the Assembly. And rather than hold an election, the council decided to appoint to fill his term for 11 months. I was asked to apply and really was reluctant to do so. I was very pleased doing what I was doing. And I thought, well, maybe someday, I might take a try at city council. But Carol was one, and my late friend Joe Fernikes was another, convinced me to fill out the application and apply. So I did, and they held their interviews. And at the end of the interview, lo and behold, I was the newest city council member in 2002.
Timing's everything.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, I had no big desire to do that. Immediately got into the swing of being a city council member. It was a whole new platform for me. I soon discovered that the difference between being a commission member and a council member was that, well, as a commission member, you got to do parks and all these wonderful things for people, but as a council member, you did more for everybody, not just a few groups. My interest as a committee member was seniors and youth. That was my concentration. So, and here I am, all these years later, still serving on the city councils, my 3rd time as mayor. And I'm enjoying it, every bit of it.
That's great. That's great. They're very lucky to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So the city has a new free shuttle service that started November. So 6 months.
Yeah, November in 2014.
Great. So how's it going? Has it been successful? Who are your riders?
It's been very successful. We received some funding from the MTA, the Transit Authority. We currently have about 100 riders a day, and it's free. Which is really critical, and it's been extremely well received by the community. It goes through a loop around South San Francisco to the places that we felt that most people needed to get to who didn't have a car or wasn't served by Samtrans. The library, Municipal Services Building, Rotary Plaza Center, City Hall, and some other stops there around town. We also have a rack for 2 bicycles, and we're looking to perhaps alter some of the routes, some of them that aren't so quite heavily used, and replacing those with demand as demand increases for the ridership. So we're looking to changing the route, adding more routes, in fact, to it. And it's been well received. The public is just tickled, particularly our senior citizens who don't quite get around so easily. It's been a boon to them. So great, and we hope to extend it into the coming years so it becomes a regular part of our city's services that we offer.
Great.
Very, very happy that it's there.
Great. That's very good to hear. Speaking of transportation, let's talk about the Caltrain station upgrade.
Okay.
I was going to ask you to describe it, but you brought pictures with you today, so we'd love if you could sort of take us through what you brought and show us what it's going to look like.
Okay. Well, that is an overhead shot of the train platform and an approach to the new Caltrain station. It's not going to be per se a station. It's really a platform, if you will. We're going to move the platform south, down track, southward towards Millbrae, so that it lines up with Grand Avenue.
Okay.
We then have a a pedestrian tunnel planned so that when you cross Airport Boulevard from Grand Avenue, you will go through a pedestrian tunnel underneath and come up on the other side of the tracks onto the platform.
Okay, I think we have a picture of
You have a
that
picture
as
of
well.
Yeah, okay. There you go. That shows the approach to the pedestrian tunnel and walkway, as we like to call it. It will be well lit, safe, and there's some artwork that's planned to be installed in there. I think you
there
see
we
it
go.
there with the
Yeah.
murals. This all came about for a number of reasons, but the key one was the employees and the employers, I should say, of our biotech community kept telling us that, more people would ride the train if it were convenient and we had a nice, safe place to get off, exit the train. So we applied for some funds and we received $49 million in funding, and we put up $5 million ourselves in good faith to show that we were serious about getting this done.
Right.
And what you see there is the platform itself. There's also what they call a drop and kiss area, where you drop off somebody, bye honey, go to work, and kind of a thing. And that'll be, I think that shows part of it there. Completion date, we're looking towards 2019, about 4 years from now.
Okay, so it's just breaking ground, or?
No, we haven't broken any ground yet. We hope to break the ground in about a year and a half or so.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, it'll be an exciting new piece for the city.
It certainly will. It certainly will.
Great, good. I understand that there are also discussions currently underway with a developer to build more than 250 housing units near the newly redesigned station. Is that true? I understand that part of the city's downtown vision is to have more transit-oriented housing, and I wish, could you talk a little bit more
Sure.
about that? What does that mean?
Well, there are several developers. One development will be where the former South City Ford properties. There's 4 parcels.
Okay.
And there'll be, I think, 100 and some odd units in there. And these will be rental units, by the by.
Okay.
They're not all going to be for sale units. Adjacent or down Airport Boulevard from that, at the corner of Baden and Baden and Airport, a 7-story facility is planned, housing. Up in half a block or so, there's another 90 units going in. Further down Linden Avenue, another 84 units. And the Rotary Club has purchased some property from us, and they're going to build 90 units for seniors, for low-income seniors. Very much needed. And it's ideally located because it'll be right in our downtown area for the seniors, and everything they need is there. Samtrans, Kaiser's not that far away, the library is there, there's shopping and things like that. So we think it's an ideal location. I might add that of the number of units, there's some 500 that have been approved and that are in the planning process, or they're going to move the dirt soon on them, and an additional 500 on drawing boards. So a total of a little over 1,000 units.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty ambitious. We have a 20% inclusionary ordinance, so any housing that's built.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that if you built 100 units, 20 have to be below market rates, or they call it affordable. I prefer workforce, the term workforce, housing units, and so we're pretty proud of that. So it'll be housing for everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
the affordable housing, of course, is such a huge issue here. So
it is.
Define for me workforce as opposed to affordable.
Well, it's just a terminology. People tend to confuse affordable with the Section 8 housing.
Right.
And they think that, well, it brings in, people who are really, really low-income folks. And that's not true. Affordable housing is for those who just can't there's a formula used, and they can't afford to pay the $2,000 or $3,000 a month in rent. So they work out this formula based on your income. For example, a family of 4 with a total income of $140,000 would qualify for a 2 or 3 bedroom unit, and the rent would be somewhere in the $1,200, $1,300 a month. So.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That that's being considered more and more,
and
especially in the Bay Area.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and the Biotech folks have told us our employees want to live where they work, so the housing units would be wonderful for them. It's just right there.
Yeah.
It's all by transit, so that's a wonderful thing.
That's great. Okay, thank you. So, possible timetable for construction of some of these?
Hopefully we're planning that they would begin to start late summer, early fall this year, certainly early next year for sure. There's still some details to be worked out on some of them. One just, I think, got approval last night. It doesn't have to come before us, so that's one stepping stone they don't have to go through.
Right.
Is with us. But we're looking 2016, 2017.
Okay, great. Good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other plans are currently in the works for other housing in South San Francisco, not necessarily near the transit area?
Right, over on across from See's Candy on El Camino and Spruce there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a large shopping center that's totally underutilized. A developer purchased that and is going to build 280 plus units of housing there, in addition to some retail. A Safeway store is an anchor tenant, and Ross Dress for Less is the other anchor tenant. And he's negotiating, at last meeting I had with him, he's negotiating with some other retail tenants in there. He hopes to begin breaking ground in August. And that'll be about a 2-year project.
Great.
And that, again, is right on El Camino, so it's served by Samtrans. And everything that we've done is we've tried to put them in transit-oriented developments so that people don't use their cars a lot.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Great.
Yeah.
Good foresight. Last August, we had Carol Matsumoto on the program with us, who's mayor at the time. And we talked in general about the impact of the biotech industry on South San Francisco. Can you share with us a couple examples of specific projects or partnerships that we've embarked on with biotech? We talked in real general terms. I'd love to get a little more specific. I find this area really interesting.
Well, one thing that, I'll single out Genentech. My colleague, Councilman Gupta, is working with Genentech and the school district to create an interest in the science projects for students. And they just had a sort of a science fair that Genentech hosted in a competition for 5th and 6th grade students. It was called the Helix event. And so Genentech has been a very, very willing partner with the city and the school district to fund these kinds of events. They're just a good corporate citizen, as all the biotechs are. They've all contributed things to the city in one form or another.
Great.
And so we're very pleased with that. Speaking of Genentech, just yesterday we were at a ribbon cutting for their new 250,000 plus square foot facility. That's the first of 3 to be built.
Wow.
The second will be an employee facility where they'll have medical for the employees, sort of a casual place to lounge and get some food, and they'll have some counseling and a gym they can work out, recreation. That ground has already been broken. So this one to open, that one's coming up next, and then they have a third building planned for R&D. That'll be another couple 100,000 square feet or so.
Okay. Yeah. Great. I want to hear more about biotech in South San Francisco. We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
We will be back in a few moments, and we'll be speaking more with Mayor Garbarino of South San Francisco.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back. We're talking with Mayor Garbarino from South San Francisco. I'd like to continue the discussion about biotech. It's such a vital part of your community, and we'd love to hear more about it.
Sure is, certainly.
Yeah.
As I said yesterday, we were at a ribbon cutting ceremony for Genentech's newest facility.
Right.
And the CEO of Genentech stated that they're here to stay in South San Francisco. In fact, they've committed $200 million in growth pretty much in South San Francisco, with new buildings and facilities, and some $2 billion they're going to be spending statewide, because they have areas in Vacaville and one in Southern California. Right. So Governor Brown was there, as was Lieutenant Governor Newsom, and he committed to the governor, we are here to stay in California. Well, all this bodes well for the state, sure as heck bodes well for South San Francisco, because it presents jobs, and not only construction jobs, but lab jobs and those kinds of things.
Right.
So in addition to Genentech, Johnson & Johnson's J-Labs just opened up a 60,000 square foot facility. That's an incubator of startups.
Okay.
So they sort of lease space to newer companies who don't have 100 employees. Maybe they have 3 or 4.
Sure.
So they're ready to do with that. Calico, which is a division of Google, and is headed by Art Levinson, the former CEO of Genentech, just opened up another 60 some odd thousand square foot facility, and they are doing research into prolonging life rather than medicines. They want to prolong life. Recent events with Google and their current home. So there's opportunity there for South San Francisco to grow, for Google to come in and grow in South San Francisco.
Right.
Over in our Cove area, which is just north of the Genentech campus, HCP Developers is putting up 2 R&D buildings totaling some 200 some odd thousand square feet, and a nice new hotel, which is AC Marriott. AC is a Spanish company that specializes in upscale hotels. So that'll be on the north end of that project. SKS Shorenstein Partnership bought 85 acres of land in the Oyster Point area.
Right.
And they hope to build 2.2 million square feet of research and development space there. So other than our housing issues, we're growing. Biotech is really booming in South San Francisco. Right. I was just telling Leslie on the way down, in the past 4 years, $250 million has been invested just in South San Francisco by business and developers. I don't think, other than San Francisco and Mission Bay, I can't think of any other city in the peninsula that can make that kind of a claim. So we're here, we're on the map, we're going places, I gotta tell you, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, good thing that sign is up there that says City of South San Francisco.
Yeah, well, it says the industrial city,
I
but
know.
now we like to think of ourselves as the city of innovation.
Yeah, that's a great tagline. Yeah, thanks. So let's move from biotech to technology.
Okay.
I understand that the city has recently launched a new online and mobile app called Engage South San Francisco.
Exactly.
Or SSF.
Yep.
And the intent is to make it easy to report non-emergency issues from a smartphone or a tablet.
Yes.
So tell us how does that work? How's that going?
Well, for instance, if you have an issue with a neighbor's parking or whatever issue might be non-emergency issue, you can use your phone or your computer and go online, and you can actually register your issue. I don't want to use the term complaint, but your issue online, and it will get sent to the appropriate department, and you will get a response within 24 hours. That's the plan. I don't know what the usage is right now, but I understand it is getting used quite, I won't say heavily, but it is getting used. And it just saves people from the trouble of making a phone call or going down, the paperwork and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's much easier just to do it online, and it can remain anonymous. That's just the nice part. And you will get a reply to you, whoever, your email or whatever address you send out. So we're excited about that, and hopefully the usage will grow.
Great.
And it affords the residents a chance to air their grievances, if you will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're happy about it.
Great, good. I'd love to talk a little bit about some of your accomplishments, but before we move into that, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers about South San Francisco and what's happening? I mean, obviously, Caltrain's huge, Biotech's huge. Anything else you want to share?
Well, we're a city in the we're on the move as a city. South San Francisco is a city of 65,000 plus people, and we're sort of a big, small city, if you will. There's so many exciting developments going on with housing in our biotech and the Oyster Point area, and plans and things that other things that we have in the works. Bottom line, South City is a great place to live, great place to work, great place to play, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of that, and look forward to doing so in the months and years to come. But come take a look at us.
Great.
We're good.
Yeah, you mentioned Oyster Point, and just in terms of being near the water, and can you tell us a little bit more about that area and what kinds of growth there might be going on there? I think I read something about that being built or developed.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we had some development plans for the Oyster Point area out there. We were thinking, well, maybe we put hotels, maybe housing, maybe recreation. Right now, it's terribly underutilized. It's just there, and it's terribly underutilized. So we'd like to do some recreation facilities out there. Maybe some kind of development. I don't know. see if we can get developers to do certain things out there. But there are plans to do something with it. Nothing specific yet.
Okay.
So like I said, we've ran the gamut from recreation, housing, hotels,
Okay.
but nothing specific.
Okay, so still kind of in the research phase.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what exactly would work well out there.
Great. Okay. Okay, so let's move to you.
Me,
I
okay.
know you've been very involved in a broad range of activities and projects during all of your years in community and public service, transportation, environment, schools. I think I've read some about your involvement with the schools. Let's talk about 2 or 3 accomplishments that you're probably most proud of.
Wow,
In your
2 or
career.
3.
Or 5 or 6, if you like.
Well, I think one that I'm very proud of was several years ago, I formed a consortium of the school district and our biotech community to get an interest in science in the classrooms. I had a germ of an idea that I saw at a National League of Cities meeting in Washington, D.C. City of Fresno had a mobile chemistry lab that they were moving in the school district. They would go from school to school to school. So I presented this to the school district, and they thought, well, that's not so good, mobile and all this stuff. There was a lot of issues about why it wouldn't work. So I thought, okay, what else could we do? So we came up with the idea, meeting again with Genentech and Amgen and the school district, came up with the idea of, why don't we get this chocolate factory idea going to show how the beans grow. We can add the genetic part of it and all the other stuff that goes with it. And so we got the project off the ground. Genentech contributed money, as did Amgen. They provided the teachers. The schools provided the classrooms and the students. And so the students actually built a chocolate factory out of material straws and all this other stuff. And at the end of the project, they are all given, the end product is a candy bar.
Of course.
So, of course. And so to date, some 3,000 or 4,000 students have participated in this program, and it's still ongoing. So I'm pretty proud of that. In fact, I'm very proud about that. That work is now being carried even to the next level by my colleague, Councilman Gupta. So he's taking it to the next level. So that's one. I suppose the other would be, as a Park and Recreation Commissioner, we actually opened 2 new parks and playgrounds. So,
Really?
yeah. Selleck Park was one, and the Avalon Park ball field was the other.
Okay, where are they located?
Selleck Park is up in the Westboro area, and Avalon Park is in Avalon Park. It's a baseball field, playground, recreation area. As a city council member, gosh, we've done so many projects. Hard to say. I really can't name anything specific. We've done so many as a council member. Just being involved in all the things that have happened, I suppose, is
Right.
very fulfilling.
Yeah, a very nice blend of the community and the schools and the industry,
Yeah.
and for results in chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate?
Well, yeah, who doesn't like chocolate? Anything else you'd like to share about the city?
No, as I said, we're growing. We're moving forward. These are very exciting times for South San Francisco. A lot of good things are happening. As I say, we're providing housing that's going to be needed. We're providing our biotech community is growing. We're bringing in retail. There's opportunities for our residents to get good paying jobs and training programs for some of our younger adults who really need that. Great place to be, very exciting times, and looking forward to the culmination of all of this.
Yeah, great. If I can back up just
Yeah.
a minute, you said something about training programs. Could you say more about that?
Yeah, along with the jobs, the construction jobs, I've been working with some of the labor unions in the council, in the county, and they are willing to establish apprenticeship programs so they can bring youngsters in, young adults, and they can actually train them to, be carpenters and glaziers and all these other things. In fact, I got permission from the school district for the carpenters union to post their training program, apprentice program information on the bulletin boards, and they've actually got some students who want to do that. So, it's an opportunity for kids to learn a trade, because not everybody can be a scientist or whatever, a lawyer, doctor.
Right. We need them all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot about the city today and
I
about
certainly
you.
hope so. Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on San Mateo County Today.